In the 20th century, the idea that one bullet can change history came back with a vengeance. World War II. The one man everyone wants to see dead? Adolf Hitler. What if a sniper could take him down? What then? Incredibly, Hitler was targeted by snipers on 2 occasions, each attempt laying down another law of sniping. The first, if you miss, men die.
Hitler would have been aware that in the First World War he sustained an injury himself and a close friend was killed by a sniper's bullet. And he always said that if events had happened differently in October 1916 and the sniper had fired 6 inches to the right, it would have been Hitler who had been killed rather than his best friend.
It was probably the costliest miss in history. Millions dead. But maybe where one sniper had missed, another could succeed. Time for a second attempt on the Fuhrer. And the second law of sniping. Patience is a virtue. In 1944, the British Special Operations Executive developed Operation Foxley, a plan to drop a 2-man sniper team into Germany. Infiltrating Hitler's Berchtesgaden retreat, they would pose as German soldiers.
First thing you'd want to do is get a vantage point where with your binoculars and everything, you could observe the targeted person reaching an area where they were a good target, where you could make a shot.
I would say he'd have to have got within about 300 yards and taken him out through the skull or the heart.
The real game has to be played involving patience and the sitting and waiting and boredom of keeping alert until this target would finally appear. You've got to know your distances, you've got to know the wind and the sunlight. You've only got one shot, you've only got one chance.
Patience. Snipers have it. And so did the Allies. The trigger was never pulled on Hitler. Allied military planners decided that Hitler would bring about the downfall of Germany faster than they could. In World War I, snipers used the Springfield 03, the Mauser 98, the Lee Enfield, and the Mosin Nagant. Come World War II, no change. Snipers were using the same rifles their fathers had fired 25 years ago. Just as well then that all 4 weapons were awesome sniping pieces. The German Mauser was a legend. First issued to their infantry in 1898, it had a strong bolt action, took a 5-round clip, and delivered accurate fire at up to 1,000 yards. Toward the end of World War II, the retreating German army began deploying lone snipers to delay enemy advances. Armed with their Mauser, these men held up entire divisions, proving that tactically, sniping wasn't just a good offense, but one hell of a defense.
Nazi rearguard action is fanatical as they try to stem the red tide. Watch this soldier. A sniper gets him.
The fear of being sniped with the Germans was very real. The word sniper sent a tremble. If you can get them, as you did in Normandy, well placed, well camouflaged, and accurate, and they worked singly, not like us in pairs, and if you could start knocking off the tank commanders, it had a devastating morale effect on our troops.
The Germans also evolved sniping tactics, taking their Mausers into unlikely places.
They were found in harness in trees, completely self-supporting, and would let us advance past them and then fire on you from behind.
In the ruined cities of the East, Russian snipers became the top World War II aces, taking down thousands of German soldiers. The weapon they used was the Mosin Nagant. Issued as the standard infantry rifle in 1891, it was adopted as a designated sniper weapon in 1932. It fired a hard-hitting 7.62 millimeter round, and in short-distance urban exchanges like Stalingrad, It had the punch to take men down. Vasily Zaitsev was the top Soviet sniper ace of World War II. Over 400 verified kills, including 11 enemy snipers. But he wasn't the only one getting his hands dirty. In a war of unbelievable carnage, women were engaged as snipers and also became aces.
Everybody in the whole Red Army is supposed to work hard to kill as many of the enemy as the Vasily Zaitsev.
The origin of 50 cal sniping began in World War II when the British came up with the Boys anti-tank rifle, a 55 caliber beast. It could take out a Panzer.
Would not penetrate the armor so much as what they would do is that they'd fire it against the track and break the track and kill the tank with a mobility kill rather than killing the crew. You wouldn't want to fire one. The recoil just was awful.
All the same, snipers saw something in the 50 caliber bullet.